echo, hearts laid bare. Battle scars we all still wear. Through the storm, through the fight, searching for hope in the dead of night. No more hiding, no more shame. Face the fire, call the name. Lessons learned, stories told. Rise again from the ashes cold. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand. Stand side by side, hand in hand. Shadows whisper, demons call, but we refuse to lose it all. Every fall, every tear, built the strength that brought us here. We are warriors, we are fire. Turn the hurt into desire. Not alone, never lost. One more chance, no matter the cost. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand.
All right. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to 2026, our first edition of Tuesday Talk. I am John Moser, also known as Flyboy, and I'm honored to kick off our first episode here in 2026 with an awesome schedule. We got a new format happening this year, so bear with us, trying some new things out. It's designed for deeper conversations and stronger community ties. So let's see what we get, huh? Our mission is simple here. We're going to create a space for real live interaction amongst our veterans. Our motto, struggling, let's talk, isn't just words, it's a lifeline. This show is about breaking down barriers and starting conversations that matter. I know firsthand what it means to struggle. Many of my challenges were self-inflicted. When I quit drinking, accepted a higher power, sought therapy, and truly committed to bettering myself, everything changed. Today, I'm grateful for the chance to share stories that remind us that we are never truly alone. This year, we're going to start off strong with our deep dive segment featuring Jerry, also known as Mr. Mustache. Jerry is the co-owner of Redline Motorsports Media with his wife, Mindy. His journey from firefighter to fire chief, fire captain, fire chaplain, suicide ideation survivor, and now a leader in motorsports media is nothing short of inspiring. Stick around for some community and program updates from Safe 22 in Ohio and the Carolinas, a little bit of VA news and benefits in our Tuesday takeaway. We've got a packed show for you today, so stick around. We are live on YouTube and Facebook, so join in the conversation in the comments, share your thoughts, and let's make 2026 a year of connection and growth. So that's our first segment. That's the first try. What'd you think of that?
Pretty good. I liked it.
You're muted.
You muted me.
I unmuted you. I did. You are not muted on my end. Here we go again. Son of a gun. All right. Well, things happen when you're doing lives. So we'll see what goes on. And I want to thank the 5 people that were waiting when we first turned it on. So thank you very much for that. Albert, I wanted you to talk about some stuff, but you're not working. Say something.
I'm going to go out and come back
Yeah,
in.
he's going to jump out and then jump right back in. So while he's doing that, we're going to swap the show around real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and just do our community cares section while he's jumping in and out. So here's our community cares intro right here. Pretty cool. Gotta love AI these days, huh? In our community cares this week, we're going to talk real quick about the SAM Center. The SAM Center is a local nonprofit here in Massillon and Canal Fulton, Ohio. They are committed to serving area military veterans and their families. They have a brand new facility up in Canal Fulton. It's man, I wish I could remember the size, but it's like a community center, and they put on a ton of events all year long, from therapies to come on. Of course. I love live. I do. I really do. This week being January 13th, on Friday, January 16th, they're doing an open session guitar jam, right? Some of the students that come in every week for guitar therapy, they've been putting on guitar therapy for about 4 or 5 years now, I think. They'll come in on Fridays for a couple hours, and it's just all the students, right? All the veterans and their whoever is coming to the class, and they get to come in and be guitar pickers with other students, right? So that's a couple hour deal going on this Friday. And then on the 18th, they're doing Iron Eagle dog training. This is a new program for them. They're bringing in a dog trainer, service dog trainer, and they're going to help you with some dog lessons, right? So if you got a dog, you'd like it to be a little bit more well-behaved, come on over to the SAM Center. Buckeye Woodturners Club. This is a new one that they're starting too. You go in and you do things with wood, right? I think there's a pen that they made one time. They made a box. All neat stuff. If you're just looking to maybe hone your skills a little bit at home for your projects, or you want to learn something new, get a hold of the SAM Center. Jody over there can help you out. And their phone number, it didn't pop up. We're going to put it down here real quick, like this. Bow, chicken, wow, wow. All right, that didn't work. So, note to self, it's okay. We'll make it work. All right, so at the bottom of the screen, you'll see SAM Center's information right here. 330-956-6162, extension 2. Call that up, get started for their stuff. Sign up for their newsletter, right? You get a newsletter. I think it's every month. It might be every week. I can't remember. There's an art studio time. There's a breakout session with the VSOs, VSCs. That's Veteran Service Commission, Veteran Service Officers of Stark County. They'll be on January 21st. That's a great one. And then they're actually starting counseling sessions at the SAM Center, right? That starts January 23rd. That'll be at 1:30. So call that number down here at the bottom. Get involved. Come on out and hang out. Let's see if we can get Albert back up again. Albert, are you there this time?
I'm here.
And he still can't be heard. Awesome stuff.
They're saying
awesome.
They can hear me.
Amazing.
They're saying they can hear me.
All right. I'll see you later. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. Is the way it is. So he's going to switch over. He's going to do a little something else. All right. Let's see where we're at. What do we got in the chats real quick? Andy's on. Hey, Andy, thanks for joining us. Senior Chief, glad you're here. Katie, Lex June Racing is watching this morning. My brother. Thank you very much. Lex June is Tom Indorf hears Al. Everybody else can hear Al, but I can't hear him. So we're going to leave Albert when he comes back. We'll get him on, and we'll go from there. Tom, thanks for joining us this morning. I see you're doing a lot of lives on TikTok. Keep up with your journey, my friend. Keep up with your journey. Redline Motorsports is back on. He's going to be our guest here in a little bit. Jerry's a trip, man. Jerry is a trip. Matt Miller says old people and technology don't mix. Boy, you ain't wrong, bro. You are not wrong. This is stuff. Stephen Plazo, The Undertaker. How awesome Thank you for everybody for being here. Albert's going to get right back on here, and we're going to let him do his thing, and then I'll just watch his mouth move. And when he's done talking, maybe he'll give me a little pointer, and it'll come it back to me. So here comes Al now. All right, Al. So everybody's telling me that they can hear you, but I can't hear you. So let's try again.
Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you. So here's what we're going to do. When you're done talking, give me a little visual cue, and we'll come back. So we want to do the community care section. I started it a little bit early since we had in and all this. I talked about the SAM Center real quick. Would you mind talking about what Save 22 has in store in the next probably 30 to 45 days coming up? We got a couple big announcements with that. So fire away, my friend, and I'll monitor the chat.
So Save 22 in the background. We're doing a total revamp of our website. We're going to have a new store uploaded in there as well. So those things will be completed towards the end of January. Also, our service dog initiative. We're still receiving applications for that. We're going to close those on the 20th of January. There's a link to go fill out a form. That form creates an email to us. Then you'll be contacted by email on your next steps to continue the process for the service dog. And that service dog's being provided by efforts of Pepperjack Kennel and Carson Brown Motorsports. Carson Brown's going to be making some waves this year in motorsports, so keep an eye on him, as well as our other partners with Mike Harmon Racing, Ryan Roulette, Lex June Racing, individuals like that have been quality partners and have helped us get to where we're at in motorsports. So one last thing in the community events is I'm looking down here so I don't mess it up. January 21st in Myrtle Beach from 10 to 12 at the Vets Cafe. Instead of the coffee and conversation, we're going to change it up a little bit. We lost a really good friend of mine, Mr. Jim Martin. So we're going to do a 10 to 12 coffee and conversation, but it's not going to be coffee and conversation. It's going to be sharing stories about Mr. Jim and his life experience and the impact he had on not only myself, Chuck, John Jr., but just the community as a whole in Myrtle Beach, just a quality individual. And again, that's January 21st, Vets Cafe in Myrtle Beach. Service Dog Initiative. We've worked with some other local businesses to do some fishing. So this year in the Carolinas, we received a community grant for fishing. So in March and April, we're going to do some fishing with Tideline Charters out of Sunset Beach. So again, if you're in the Myrtle Beach area, reach out to save22.vet, info@save22.vet. Send us an email saying you're interested, and we'll contact you from there and get you fill out the application and do the things you need to do. Other than that for the Carolinas, that's kind of where we're at. Everything's kind of just in a lull right now until the end of January, and once February kicks up and the season starts for us is when you'll see a lot of things happen. Back to you, John.
Okay, it looks like Al's trying to get back to me, so I have no idea what he talked about, but I'm pretty confident he was talking about the website development, the way the programs are going to be working, our partnership with Carson Brown, Lex June, IHRA, ARCA Series. There's a lot happening, guys. The IHRA purchased a boatload of tracks. They're going to be more grassroots this year. We're looking into some things on how to get back into there. So Murphy got him. Yeah, Murphy's Law. Yeah, you ain't wrong, Andy. Man, I'm stoked Andy's listening, huh? How about that? Mr. Stealth over there, road name Stealth, because he's always so quiet. All right, so I want to get into our interview with Jerry. Shall we do that? All right, so this is a segment in 2026. Right now, we're going to call it Deep Dive. So check this out real quick. This is the Deep Dive segment. We're going to bring in Jerry. I'm going to give him an introduction here real quick as he's chilling back there trying to look sexy and pose. To get into our interview with Jerry. Jerry is a former firefighter, EMT advanced, one step below paramedic. He dealt with his own mental health struggles, started a media company with his wife, Redline Motorsports Media. Mindy has been his rock, his go-to, his safe space for quite a few years now, and he wouldn't be where he is without her, he says. Jerry and I met last year in Milan, Michigan, I think, and the look on his face, the expression that he gave when he found out who we were and what we did, kind of hit home with him. And he ended up having a couple-hour conversation down at Dunn with Albert, incredibly meaningful to us and to him. And we thought we'd bring him on and have him share. He's enjoyed some pretty incredible success on Facebook and Instagram with his media company, Redline Motorsports Media. He is a big mogul inside the RHRA worlds. He loves those gassers. And woo. All right. So I can't hear him now either. This is amazing. Albert, can you hear him?
I was wondering that since you muted us earlier, or you muted me
okay,
earlier.
So I have a problem.
Yeah.
So you guys are still on. I can't end the live. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like everything was working. We just did this for 45 minutes prior to going live. And as soon as I click live, now I can't hear people. So
it was all working until I decided I need to find a phone charger. For
Jerry, are you on your laptop?
Ruckus.
Are you on your laptop? I'm going to call Jerry so I can hear Jerry.
No, don't call me. I'm on that phone.
This is ridiculous. It's probably not Jerry either. Hey, I can't hear you at all. I have no idea what happened here. Really. That's great. Okay. All right. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call Albert and I'm going to listen. No, Albert's on the phone. Albert can listen through his iPad. Can I call you? All right. I'm going to let you come back on, Jerry. All right. So this is how we're Albert disappeared. Now I got you. Are you there? Jerry?
So I muted my mic and unmuted it. Did that help you at all?
Probably yes, not. Now I can hear you, so I don't have it. Way to go, buddy. All right, way to figure it out. So Albert's coming back in. All right, stand by. All right. All right, so Albert's going to come back in. We're going to leave him off. So slight challenges when dealing with live. This is so crazy. All right, so Albert was digging on me, Flyboy. That's funny. All right, so we're gonna bring Albert back in and see if we can hear. Albert, can we hear you? Try again.
Can you hear me?
I got you. Jerry, can I hear you?
I can hear you, Al.
Woohoo! Everything works. All right. I am not starting over. We are going to leave this alone. I'm not touching any buttons. I'm not doing anything. Oh, this is crazy.
Time.
This is crazy stuff, man. I love the way this works. I'm going to put Jerry's Redline Media stuff down here at the bottom. So you can follow along with Jerry and Redline Motorsports Media right here at the bottom of the screen. Redline Motorsports Media on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Redline Motorsports Media on the Instagram. So Jerry had
John is frozen in time on my phone, but he's not frozen in time on the computer version.
Well, that's your iPhone 12 you got running there. So Albert Lex June says it's like tuning a top fuel car. You just have to know what buttons to turn. Yeah, boy, that ain't wrong.
Got to get another zip tie.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone hanging around, dealing with this craziness. Jerry, I'm going to start off by saying you've had an incredible journey, right? You started off here in Ohio.
On your end, Al?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me though, Jerry?
Over here, I see him moving, but right here,
can you hear me?
He's frozen.
Oh my God.
What's that?
Can you hear John?
No, he's froze over here, but I see him and can hear him on the.
Yeah, we got to be done with Restream, man. This
Yeah,
is
I don't
happening
know.
way too
This
much.
this is happening quite a bit. All right, Albert, please relay the
But
question.
I'm afraid if I turn the volume up over there, then it's going to echo over here.
Jerry, I'm going to ask the question after Johnny asks it, so you can hear it.
Okay, and I'll just watch John's reaction over here.
Turn your volume up on the phone. Go ahead and turn your volume up. Maybe you can hear me. Or turn your volume up on the computer. I want to tell you guys, before you do get into these questions, I am honored to the core to be here with you two. The pleasure of meeting both of you and getting to chat with John and talk a little war stories, as you say, kind of brought a little bit of a bond between the two of us. And then now when I met you, same exact thing. I feel that all of us have just clicked. I think it's a wonderful thing what you're doing at Save 22. And I want to do everything I can to try to help you guys and promote you and get you out there to people, because organizations like you doing these things for veterans and first responders, top notch. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to be on your show. I put a little comment earlier that I brought the coffee, I brought the water, but I forgot to bring the tissues, and there's a good possibility I may need them. So I know I got my shirt on here. It says it's going to be okay. So if I have to use it to wipe some snot or anything like that, then it's just going to be okay. There you go. Yeah. So hopefully if I do, I'll just move forward so we don't get too much of a look at the tabletop up here. So yeah, I'll just give you a good look of the mustache. But I know the segment's called the deep dive, and I'm more than willing to go as deep and dive into this as much as you all want to, because I feel it's very important for us that have gone through some struggles of sorts to let other people know that they're not alone. And when people say that, it's straight up facts. They aren't.
Yep, couldn't agree more, man. Just the simple conversation we had standing on the track, right? I mean, next thing you know, we're there for an hour, it seemed like, and people are looking at us, we're hugging, we're crying. I don't care. I don't. Because to me, that's a moment for you and me. That's not for everybody else, right?
Right.
If they want to come up and ask the question, fine, ask the question. What are y'all talking about? Hey, jump on in here, right?
Yeah, nothing else. That's an opportunity right there for them to do that. And I feel the more and more people that are out there doing those types of things, obviously that may draw some concern to people of making sure everything and everybody's okay in that particular moment. And if nothing else, that opens the avenue to let people know what we are talking about. And your guys' one of your whole mottos is let's talk. So that's just the opportunity to do it right there.
Right. Albert, I sent you the questions in your text messages. Hopefully they came through that way. Maybe you can look at it. That's kind of the way I was going to go through this. But I wanted to talk about real quick, Jerry, and thank you, Jerry, for all that. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the compliments. You've had an incredible career path, man. You went, and somebody just shut him off.
I don't know what's going on, bro.
I don't either. This is crazy right now. And now his camera's down and all kinds of stuff's happening. Wow, this is quite the intro to 2026. Jerry, are you there? Nope. He dropped off again.
Coming back. Maybe. Nope.
All right. Hey, let's try again. Can you hear me now, Jerry?
I was trying to hear. I've lost connection, but it says I've lost the connection. So I'm not sure what language that is, but I didn't hit send on that yet. So we'll just go ahead and delete that right there.
Can you hear me yet?
Oh my gosh, John! You're back.
Don't touch anything.
All right, don't anybody touch nothing. Don't anybody touch
Hallelujah.
nothing.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well, we got up to 20 viewers at one point, and we're down to 9. So you know what? I mean, it happens.
Maybe we'll get them
They
back.
just dropped off.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to know, and I think most people do, because as veterans, we seem to have all felt this calling to the service in one way, shape, or form. It was either to escape the home life, avoid jail, or clean our life up, go to college, see the world, meet exotic people, whatever it is, right? What was your call? What do you feel your call was, your drive, your motivation to become a firefighter?
Well, to be honest with you, John, I wasn't real sure. I don't think I was one of those kids that grew up and said, I'm going to be a fireman. I don't remember or recall that, but I do remember the events of 9/11 hit me very hard. And then I also had a cousin that was.
And there he goes again. I think he's got a signal issue down there at his house.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's all right. He's I think he's here in Ohio, if I remember right.
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Things happen when you're trying to do live.
Yep.
Things happen.
But with Jerry though, just from the conversations we had, his path to where he got to, and I don't want to get into it in case he jumps back, but it's a pretty incredible story, right? And you and I talk about happenstance, like things just happen, right? I think, for Jerry, things just happened. They did,
right?
But
right.
What he does around the track though, too, man, is that dude is everywhere.
Dude, he don't stop. He don't stop. And I want he's about 6'5". He's a big dude. He
fills up a doorway.
He does fill up a doorway, and you got this big dude with multiple cameras and a media shirt and this ginormous mustache, right? I think his mustache has a following of 500,000 people or something. So you and I have talked that you're only as happy as you let yourself be, right? So if you're sitting inside your own home and you're wallowing in all this self-pity that people don't like me, or I can't fit in, and all I do is argue at people. I'm fighting the world, right? We've talked about that quite a bit, fighting the world. So you end up sitting back inside, right? You don't go out, or when you do go out, you have this chip on your shoulder, this armor of, I'm not going to let anybody penetrate it. When we're at the track or we're at these events and people see the Safe 22 or they see the Struggling Let's Talk, and you see the look on their face like, what's this about, right? Like, I think, what are you guys doing? Man, we're just here making ourselves available. What's with your motto? Sometimes we got some things we don't know what to do about. Matt's asking what our schedule is for the upcoming IHRA races. Well, Matt, I have a proposal going to the IHRA for 2026. It's going to go to their hospitality people and then up to Daryl and Leah. Hopefully we'll be accepted with our proposal and see what they have to say. We are going to be on site with Lex June to at least 5 events. Those are the ones that are local to both Al and I. There are some extra events that they have picked up. Maple Grove, PA, right? That's one. I just pulled up their schedule a minute ago. What did I do with it?
I know we're kicking off in Dunn, North Carolina. I know that one for sure. I know Michigan for sure, Hebron for sure, West Salem, and if they come back into, Jerry says he's trying to get back in.
Okay, we can wait for him. That's fine.
Yeah. But as far as trying to make it to events, it's not only IHRA. We've got ARCA, Xfinity. We've got
O'Reilly.
some truck stuff. We've got
O'Reilly.
some trucks. Yeah, I just said truck. Did I?
Well,
or did I say
you said Xfinity.
O'Reilly's. I'm sorry.
O'Reilly's. So, all right. So Jerry's phone died. He's trying. Team Fast. Matt Miller is the POC for Team Fast Tracks. Team Fast Tracks is the parachute team that comes in and does the opening ceremonies. And talking with the IHRA yesterday, was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. They are very excited about the IHRA and Team Fast Track's opening ceremonies, Safe 22, the way we were doing things last year at a couple of those events. Very excited for the Outlaw National events. This year, the IHRA also announced a 3-race, I can't remember the word that they're using.
Triple Crown winner, I think it was called.
Triple Crown winner. Lex is on listening right now. Maybe we can send a link to Lex, and Lex can come on while we're trying to get Jerry on.
But, you know, and again, it's the schedule is going to be to what Save 22 can do, not only monetarily, but what we can do support-wise as well.
Personnel-wise, yeah.
Personnel-wise, right? Yeah. So, and again, the opportunities for veterans and first responders to be able to come to the tracks, you're really going to need to pay attention to the website and the social media. We have a calendar that we're going to put out so everybody will see what's going to be coming. Then you'll be able to apply through that little application if you want to go. And that's just to help our end for insurance reasons. And also we're going to start tracking a lot better than we have in the past for some grant applications that we're looking at to keep funding us. So on the business side of it, that's kind of what's happening in the background. So everybody kind of understands what's going on. When we ask you to fill out that application, it's very simple. It takes less than 5 minutes to fill out. That way we can all keep track of everything. Oh, it's Gerda.
It is Gerda.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for Miss Gerda.
I don't know if I'm ready for Gerda either. Let's get a Safe 22 banner that we can jump with if the IHRA is allowed it. You know what? We could get a flag. We can get a flag. Gerda's working. She can't join. She's over at O'Reilly's. So the nice sponsor of the series with NASCAR now, right? So you got NASCAR. I don't even remember who's running the points in the big show now. But then you got O'Reilly for that series, which is where we are going to be later on in the year, should everything work out the way it needs to work out with Carson and everything going on with him. And, you know, we'd be remiss if we didn't say thank you to Carson Brown Motorsports, all the things that they have done lately for us in the background, quietly sharing our stuff, bringing up the service dog. They started the service dog initiative. You'll see that right there at the bottom there. We've got the service dog initiative through Pepper Jack Kennels and Carson Brown Motorsports and Save 22. We've got about 15 or 20 applicants right now. We're going through that process.
Last I looked, there was 20, but that was yesterday. So I'm sure we're up today. I'm sure we are.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You should start getting those return emails next day or two on the next step of the process for the service dog.
Yeah, that'll start coming out. That's a process. That's a program that Albert is managing for Save 22, and Carson Brown and Pepper Jack Kennels have their stuff together over on their end. So you click this QR code, shoot on this QR code, whatever it's called, take a picture of it. It'll take you to help support and make a donation to the service dog program, or you can click this one. Oh, where'd it go?
It's there.
Is that the merch? That's the merch one right there. Here's the Damien one. I think Jerry popped back in on something else. All right. There he is. Let's see if we can bring Jerry back.
I hope so.
There he is.
Yay.
Let's try this again.
All right. Get all that stuff
all right. I got that stuff off of there.
Charger didn't work.
That's all right. That's all right. Gerda, thanks for listening at work. Gerda is the only, as far as I know, female top fuel crew chief to win a race. I know it's 2025. That's when it happened. We were up at Milan, Michigan. It was absolutely incredible. What a weekend. There's video out there of it.
Gerda's pretty daggone awesome.
Gerda's telling me to go ahead and text Lex. Gerda, I'm going to tell you that we got Jerry back on. If Jerry falls off again, we'll bring up Lex. That'll be our backup. So Jerry, what we were talking about before we were so rudely interrupted by technology, what drew you to public service? You know, you had said that Albert and I said we were kind of drawn to it. We knew that that's what we wanted to do at a very young age, and we went and did it. You have a little different path, a little different journey. 9/11, 25, 26 years ago, you know, we were 25, 26 back then, right? And you felt a calling, I guess. So can we dive into that real quick?
Yeah, so what I was saying is 9/11, I believe, had a big impact on that. Always had mad respect for our service members, our military, our veterans, and also our first responders. So seeing so many of them lose their lives on 9/11 really touched my soul. At that point in time, 343 firemen lost their lives in the Twin Towers, and that number is still counting. It's up there, even higher than that now. But it just kind of all worked out because I had a cousin who was on our local fire department as a volunteer or an explorer, and he stepped back, took some time away, and he said that he wanted to get back on the department. So I said, well, you know what? I think that would be something that I'd like to do. So if you feel you're being called to be back on the fire department, then how about I apply and, you know, we go through whatever schooling together that, you know, you still need, that I would need, and let's just do it. So we both did, and we got hired. Pretty much we lived in our community, so I mean the hiring part wasn't going to be the hardest of it because they need people in the community. But we went through some of the schooling together, and then I just took it from there and decided I was going to make a career out of it. My fire department, the main fire department I work for, Bethel Township in Clark County, Ohio, was a combination department, as we call it, where there's paid on call and then there's part-time members. So we weren't a full-time department, but that's how that got started.
And how long did you do that for? 20 something years?
Yeah, so I was at the Bethel Township Fire Department for just shy of 22 years altogether. I also worked for the New Carlisle City Department for a few years in between there, and then I ran in multiple private ambulance companies for that whole 20+ year stretch, pretty much. Worked for Care Flight Air and Mobile out of the Miami Valley Hospital, so a lot of different aspects of what was going on there, and it was nonstop work for, you know, many hours for many years.
Yeah. Well, that's a Bethel Township. That's small, right? Let's be clear. That's not big city stuff. That's not even the size of I don't even think it's the size of my town, Bolivar, right? But you still get more. What do I want to say? You get personal calls, right? You end up taking care of people that you know or families that you interacted with or things like that. How rewarding was that for you in those 22 years to be able to serve the community and help people in time and quite arguably some of the hardest times of their life?
So yeah, John, we were our township is one of the largest townships in our county and one of the most active fire departments in that type of atmosphere.
Right.
And it is in the community where I live in, and I still live in. So I grew up in that community, lived in the community 90% of the time that I was on the fire department. So not only was that, you know, helping my community, there were a lot of people that were family, friends, classmates, you know, you name it.
Right.
Knew a lot of people in the community, so I felt like I wanted to help not only the community itself, but some of my family members that were there, friends that were there, classmates and such. I'm gonna pop my door open real quick so my
Bring them in.
Here, right?
Bring them in. Bring them in. I know how they go. I know how they are. We have to lock my dogs upstairs, but I have 2 Shih Tzus, and they got to be next to Dad. I get it. I get it. I get it. So Jerry's getting his German Shepherd all aligned here.
Back. She might get in the
All
camera. She'll probably go back there and lay down. If she does, that's Phoenix. She's a white German Shepherd. She might pop her head up here in a minute. But they're wondering why Daddy's in the room by himself and not.
Right. That happens to us with the bathroom too. Close the door in the bathroom, you come out and there's 2 dogs by the bathroom door. Like, really? Come on, guys. So
to reiterate on that, John, being in a rural department where you know a lot of people, it kind of had its advantages and it had its disadvantages.
Sure.
And which could make some of the toughest calls that you went on being people that you knew, like personally. I transported my own mom to the hospital, started an IV on my own mother, and it was just, she had a diabetic type emergency, so it was nothing. It was crazy, but it was like, who would think that you would take your own mother to the hospital? And then there was another good friend of the family that I grew up with. We were neighbors in 2 separate different houses. Went into cardiac arrest and had to go next door or I was, on duty that day, but get called and you're like, man, that address is like very close to my address. And it's your neighbor. And then here you are all of a sudden doing CPR on your neighbor. And that kind of stuff is just, it's rough to do CPR on anyone, but when it's someone you knew for 20, 30, 40 years, it hits a little different.
Yeah, you almost feel a obligation that I have to do everything. I have to do everything for this guy or this gal, and it's almost a pressure situation, right? Did you feel that when you worked on people that you knew, it was a little bit more mentally tasking than it was for a stranger, I guess you'd say?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I'm the kind of person, I love everyone. It doesn't matter who they are, what they wear, what color they are, where they came from or whatever.
We all deserve a shot.
I feel like I try to equally love everyone in its own way. But if you physically and personally know someone, it does add that element to it, and it does make you bear down even more into your psyche to like, hey, this is legit. It's another call, but it's not just another call. So, you're going to do the exact same thing as you're going to do with anyone else, but there definitely is something there that is a little more touching when you're, when you really know the person. And
T-Bone on YouTube said, you have skin in the game. That matters. Hey. And the fireman starts a fire in his own house. All right, rock on.
The shepherd.
You Jerry, back where I grew up, it's a very small community as well, and you and I talked about it. I think there was 1,200-ish people in our hometown, all volunteer fire department. We have some firefighters have been on that department 50 years. It's generational. So they've been at some of these events where we've lost a child in a fire, right? And then they stay in the community. So now you see the mom become a grandma. You know what I mean? Like you watch the progression of people grow. And I've always asked the chief, that's who I'm friends with, how do you put that away? Like how do you how do you go in the community and go sit down to eat at a restaurant and there's the family of the little boy, right? That to me, that would be hard for me personally, right? And that's what I've always asked them is like the firefighters and the police, the first responders in general, right? Military is a little different in my opinion. I talk about it as well. In the military, you go do your mission, you're done with your mission, you come back, you do the after action, and you put it away, right? You can go do something else. Or firefighters, it's every day, daily, every day, and sometimes two, 3, 4, 5 a day, right?
Yes.
So what has brought you the peace, I guess, to be able to put those things where they need to be. Does that make sense? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, Al. And yeah, you're right. Again, mad respect for our veterans, our military people. I know that when they go to war, they see a lot of crap
stuff,
and there's a lot of things that they come back that they need to try to release themselves and to get off their chest. And there's a lot of those things that you're never going to get off your chest. It's just going to be there with you forever. As a firefighter EMT, especially in our township, even though it was small, we were one of the busiest departments and in our state, let alone our county. And there were a couple of those years that, as far as like fatality, accidents, and things like that, we were ranking in the top 5 in the state. There was multiple years like that, and I would say probably earlier on in my career at that fire department, I was very gung ho. Not that I ever stopped being gung ho, but we were a small community. We needed help all the time. We only had a limited amount of resources to serve our community, and just knowing that it was our community, I wanted to be there all the time if I knew that we were short. And being there all the time could also backfire on you, because then that means that you're never going to have a time to decompress, because you're going to be seeing multiple events in a day, and day after day after day. And in 2005, I remember very vaguely, we were on a stretch where we were the #1 department in fatalities in our state for a good period of time, and just a period of a few months, we had over 9 fatalities in automobile accidents, and I was on every single one of those calls.
Wow.
And some of those were multi fatalities in one singular accident. And then you come back to the firehouse and you try to do what you can to decompress and things like that, but you also know that in 5 minutes later you might be right back out on that same call. You hope to God that you're not. I know I had a few days where we dealt with multiple fatalities in one day, and that's when it gets really, really tough, because that cumulative effect just you don't have time to try to decompress from the one thing before it's right there and it's hitting you again. And now you've got just a whole, it's just all balling up on you. We would call it like the pot of water that was boiling over. You keep adding that heat to it, it's just going to keep boiling over. And if you never have a chance to turn down that temperature on it, then you can get yourself in trouble real quick.
Right.
Albert, you kind of mentioned how I dealt with that. Part of my way dealing with that is I've always been very well known in our community, and I also, when things like that would happen, whether it was our community members or other community members, I knew that if I was hurting the way that I was hurting, that family that was involved in that had to be hurting way worse than me, or that was just how I looked at it. So even before I became a chaplain at our fire department, I was always one that wanted to go follow up with those families to see if they were okay. And that helped me. It was therapeutic for me to kind of help them through the process of what happened or what transpired during some of these events, because some of those family members, if they don't have someone talking to them about that, they've got a lot of questions in their head about how their loved one was treated, what happened. They hear rumors about it being, if they don't see them particularly until they have to go identify them, they hear a lot of rumors of, that could be, blood and gore per se. And I was able to go talk to those people and kind of shoot down a lot of those rumors and make, help them feel better about each of those situations, which in turn helped me feel better. So I found that very therapeutic to either talk to those families and our peers. And I don't think I know that's what led me into being called to be a chaplain.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about that because you rose up to lieutenant, to captain, and then chaplain. And when I asked you to send me some pictures of things, and the first picture you send me is this right here. It's you as a chaplain. You had gotten your firefighter chaplain, and I absolutely love this picture right here. I think this is amazing.
Yes, that is one of my favorite pictures of all time. My good buddy Andy Grimm did a little photo shoot with me, and I was still actively on duty when those took place, and those were just absolutely special.
Do you feel that inside of you had a calling to become a chaplain? Do you feel that your time in the fire service and EMT shaped you to be a better chaplain? Was it your faith that drove you to be a chaplain? Was it an event that said, I can't do this side of it anymore, I got to grow and go over here? Was there a one-time event that said, that's it, I got to make this call and I want to go be a chaplain?
Yeah, I would say a combination of all of those, John. I've been a man of faith for a good part of my life. I've always felt that for whatever reason, God was going to lead me where I needed to be. And just the fact of what I was doing already before I was appointed chaplain of our department, with, wanting to make sure that everyone was okay, and seeing the pain that, my brothers and sisters at the fire department would endure during those times. I just, in 2018 is when that was, I just had it hit me one day, and I was reading a magazine, and it was talking about the need for chaplains in the fire service. And this was a magazine that I had laying around my house for probably years and just never picked it up. So I picked it up and turned it to like the middle. I wasn't even reading the whole thing. I flipped it to a certain section, and it was a section talking about the need for chaplaincy in the fire and EMS service. And I said, man, this is really something that I feel I could do good at. I feel we have the need. So I had messaged my fire chief at the time, and I said, I'd like to set up a meeting with you. And he said, okay, let's Sunday at whatever time it was. He had no clue what I wanted to talk to him about. He had no idea. I just told him I wanted to set up a meeting with him. So we set up that meeting, and during that meeting, I told him that I wanted his perspective on what he thought about, a chaplain at our fire department and what the need for it would be. And he said that he thought that was a need. And I told him I had already looked into some classes for chaplaincy, and if it was possible, I'd like to go take them. There was 2 different courses that I had looked up. And he said, the crazy thing is like, this is something that's been on my mind in the last few weeks. And he had went out and talked to some of the churches to maybe see if any of the pastors there would want to be, to do it, to take on that role. But then he had a lot of conflict from some of them, that, some of them felt like they didn't want to step on other people's toes and things like that. So he said, I absolutely want to have a chaplain here. and I would like that to be you. And he's like, what classes did you find? And I pulled up online the classes that I found, and next thing you know, the fire chief's pulling out the township credit card, and he registers me for those classes right there on the spot. And he said, "Well, I guess you got to do this now." And I said, "I guess so." So it just all kind of it was just meant to be. It was supposed to happen. And,
right. Looking back, you can see it now, but when you're in it, you're just kind of overwhelmed with the way things are happening, and now you can look back and go, there were people in my corner the whole time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Did your time in the fire service as a chaplain, what kind of mental health things did you see, and what, how do I want to say this? Being a chaplain and having a faith obviously works into your benefit for your mental health, because you have that faith that I'm going through something I need to go through. And one of the things that I like to say is, when I first got sober 17 years ago, I would have to stop myself in a situation and be like, okay, is this lesson for me, or am I the lesson for somebody else? Right. And now you're in this position as a fire chaplain. You're seeing both sides of it. You're seeing the victim's family, you're seeing your family, your guys, your own family. You're married. Does it help you? Does it give you a better perspective? Does it help educate you on responses and trauma triggers? And, do you find that you got better? Which I hope you're going to say yes, obviously. And I really don't know where to go with that. I just feel like when you get called to do something, it doesn't feel like work, right? It's not do I want to say it's not a challenge? I think I do. I think I want to say it's not a challenge. It's not hard. You just answer the phone and you go. You know that you are in this position to be this thing for people, this landing spot, I guess you will, this shoulder to cry on, this backbone, this oak tree that's not going to break at this time while they're all, in chaos, and you have this calm mind. I'm reminded of I think it's Isaiah 3:15. If not me, then who? Whom shall I send?
Yep.
Right. I've always had this. I've always had this feeling of, from growing up. My dad would always say it. Well, if you don't do it, who will? Okay, you know what? And I've applied that to everything in my life. Who's going to do this? Right? Who's going to do this? Well, I guess I have to. And kudos to you for, the call to serve in 9/11. And I want to mention too, Jerry got his fire service chaplain appointment on September 11, 2018. My retirement date is 2011, September 11, 2015.
That made
monumental day. So monumental days. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It is special. It might not mean nothing to anybody else, but it means something to you, to me. Yeah. Right. Those mean stuff.
So the other thing, it was that day, like an hour or two before the meeting was set, our township meeting was set, to appoint me as chaplain, and of course everything else they had to deal with. We had a fatality accident
that day,
an hour, 2 hours before that, and it just reiterated the fact that there was a need there, and there was we needed to do something.
Right. It's that God knocking on the door, right? If you don't listen to those whispers, all you're going to hear is those screams. Yeah. Thanks, Dave Cryer.
So the word had already started to get out that I was going to be the chaplain of the fire department. And people already knew, even before that title was put in place, that I would talk to them, and they knew they could confide in me and things like that. but that accident happened, a couple hours before. And I think in such a moment of tragedy for that to happen, it did show those guys and gals on the department that there was a need for it. And it showed them even more that, okay, we'll go talk to him. And you would have some negative feedback on that too, because we still think we can take care of everything ourselves. And what does a chaplain mean? Is it this holy roller that's going to come in here and try to throw the Bible at us? And I was very adamant that I have my beliefs, and whatever your beliefs are is not going to affect what I think about your mental health or what kind of discussions we can have. And there were a lot of people that took that in, and they realized that was the case, that it didn't matter if I believed in God and they didn't believe in God, or, if they were, what sort of religion they were, that, they could still come and talk to me. Because, really when it all came down to it, when I would talk to people, I didn't even have to mention God. Because I felt it, I knew, but I didn't have to be like, oh, God's going to take care of you. I knew he would regardless, but that just wasn't something that I brought up to them, because I had that respect for whatever belief system that they had. So, but yeah, I believe that it did help me. Again, it was, therapeutic to go talk to people. But I would have to say I was a very, very active chaplain at my department. And there was a good stretch of period of time that whether I was on the call or not, if I was on the call, obviously I was already going to be there. But if I wasn't on the call, then I would get a phone call, if this was even someone went into cardiac arrest or any type of death call that we had, I would get called, and then I would come to the scene.
As a chaplain, are you an active firefighter, active EMT?
Absolutely.
So you still do the regular calls, you still do structures, you still go in, you still do all that stuff. You're not just standing off on the side waiting for something to happen, right? You're active. You're still an active firefighter. You still train, clean the trucks, do the gear, take the classes. It's almost like in the military we call it an additional duty.
Yeah.
Right. So
I
it's almost
there are some chaplains at fire departments that they're just a chaplain.
Okay. All right. So you still got you still got the all that stuff. So you
absolutely.
I guess you kind of say you got the best of both worlds if you bring it that way. One last mental health and resilience question, and then I want to transfer over into what you're doing now. But would there be any advice that you would give to the active duty, the veteran, the first responders in these high stress professions who feel like they're at a breaking point? Do you have any piece of advice of what you've seen in 20 plus years as a firefighter and a chaplain? What piece of advice would you give them for anybody that's struggling in that series, in that profession right now?
What I would definitely tell them that it's not a sign of weakness to go get help. I believe it's a full sign of strength if you're able to go do that and get help. We hear it often that you're not alone. You hear it, and some people will just kind of just blow it off the top of their head, like, yeah. Like, you really aren't alone. And you also may be a little surprised on who is also dealing with some of these same things that you're dealing with personally. There may be some people out there that very, very well that are dealing with the exact same things, and you just don't know it. I'll fall back to me. I know I had my own personal struggles, and I was like I am now. You guys see me, I'm running around, I'm smiling. Got a happy-go-lucky look on my face all the time. And I would do that even if I wasn't in a good place. So when I had a personal, so this is the first thing I would tell you. I went and got help. So if I can make that decision to go get help,
Yep.
you can make that decision to go get help. But and when I made that decision to go get help, and at the time I was doing it, I had experienced a lot of death with being the chaplain, and just everyday calls, and also I was having some marital problems at the time, so it was all accumulating into this big ball of, snowball effect, that everything felt like my world was just falling off underneath my feet.
Crumbling.
Yeah, crumbling
going away.
underneath. So,
and you feel like it's your fault. You feel like it's your fault at that time. Like, it's what am I doing that's causing this?
Matter what you're doing.
Right.
It's all your fault. I will say, luckily for me, I was at that point in time going around the country with an organization called the Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance, who at that time was the only organization that was tracking the numbers of firefighter suicides.
Wow.
And I was doing suicide awareness and prevention seminars in multiple states. So I had studied up a lot on these things. I was taking a lot of critical incident stress management classes, a lot of crisis intervention classes. So as far as knowledge to know and to be able to see when someone was struggling, I was able to see that when I looked in the mirror. And luckily, I credit those classes that I took to saving my life, because I started recognizing my own signs of struggling and wanting that to be the way out. And I'm going to dive deep right now. So
go for it, brother.
So
oh no, we're going to get oh no, he's losing his signal again.
You can hear him still.
I can still. There he is.
I said I'm gonna dive deeper as this part of this segment was talking about. More so to just get this message out there that, if you're
we call it fighting the world. If you feel like you're fighting the world,
hear me.
I got you. If you feel like you're fighting the world,
give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yes, go for it.
Hear me.
And there he goes. Now he's got stuff happening in the background. Boy, this
got some fireworks. I don't know how that happened.
It's all of us. Interesting. You can get it out, buddy. You know, sometimes it's hard
to hear me. It's a little delayed. I'm on the computer. You guys are frozen on my phone because of that phone call. Okay, good deal. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to dive deep into this. I feel that
go for it.
It's important for people to understand other people's stories, and they might be able to relate it with their own, to know that this is me, or it could be me. And if this person went and got help, I can go get help. So when I started recognizing those things going on with myself, the first thing I did was call one of my buddies, real good friend of mine, and requested him to come over to my house and take all of my guns.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the ways or the plans that I had. That was one that was very accessible to me. So I called him up, and he obliged. I was at work, so obviously it struck a chord when he's showing up at my house and he's asking my now ex-wife, or wife at the time, to come in the house and get my guns, and he took them. And honestly, it was like, that was just a means that I knew that I could take my own life with. but it wasn't the first choice or the, you know, I'm going to shoot myself. It wasn't at the top of what I really thought I would do.
I got you.
So at that point in time, I felt like my only safe place was being at the fire department and not being at home where I thought that a lot of those problems were coming from. So I was working and, you know, nonstop, probably over 100 hours in a week. I wouldn't go home because I felt safe at the firehouse. But on the other hand, did I really feel safe at the firehouse? Because I had had thoughts in my mind that when I was checking the ladder truck off in the morning, that maybe I would just climb to the top of that ladder truck and accidentally slip off of there. And it may not have killed me, but it probably would have had a good chance of doing it. And then no one would even have known that I had those thoughts in my mind. Or I literally prayed that we would have a big structure fire in our township. And with that being said, I was like, I would find a way to where I wouldn't make it out of that fire. And you know, before we came on live here, we talked about some of the worst ways that you could go, and fire or drowning would be, you know, probably two of the worst things. So my mind was so set on this is the time that I was willing to sacrifice my life and not come out of a fire.
Yeah.
So in the back of my head, then I also was thinking, so if I were to have died in a fire in the line of duty, I would have been a hero.
Right.
And then again, no one would even have known that I did that to myself. So luckily, you know, they say some of the best answered prayers are those that are unanswered. And we didn't get that fire.
Nope.
Thank God. But by that time, you know, with what was going on and my friend coming to take my firearms, word had got back to my supervisor at the Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance at that time, Mr. Jeff Dill. And I got a phone call from Jeff Dill. And that phone call basically said, all right, Jerry, you're going around telling people what they need to do in these types of situations. So what do you need to do? And I said, I need to go get help. And that's exactly what I would tell everyone at these classes that, you know, I would teach, that I need to go get help.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I think you just figured out what you need to do. And you need to go get that help. So I therefore, by then my fire chief at the other department had figured out, you know, what was going on. And he came up to the firehouse and he took me for a little ride in the ambulance to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, I told them what was going on. I was honest about everything. I said, I'm struggling. I need help.
Yep.
And they're like, well, you know, do you have a plan? Yeah. Lots of plans. And told them everyone that I just told you all. And I also, at that time, I had transported a lot of people out of a place down near Cincinnati called the Linder Center of Hope. And I had taken people there, traveled there, and I really liked what I seen, how they treated people.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them, I said, I need help and I need to go to the Linder Center of Hope. And they pulled some strings and made that happen. And I got help. I was in there for 2 or 3 weeks, and did counseling after that. Got put on some medications that were beneficial to me. Some of those I still take today. But I guess you got to look into yourself. You more than anyone else knows you. And if you're looking into your own heart and you're feeling those ways, and trust me, I know that when you're doing that and you have those thoughts that are going through your mind, you don't think about anyone else. You may love your pets, you may love your children to death, you may even love your spouse or whoever you have in your life at that time. But all of that love still doesn't supersede the fact that you feel like it's time for you to
you're hurting,
take your own life.
You're hurting,
and that's just kind of you're in a little bubble, and you're stuck in that bubble. But you can go get help and get out of that bubble. Take one little prick of the needle and that bubble will pop, and you can go get help. And there's a reason for you to do it. There'll be a reason for you to be here still on the earth. After that situation, there's been so many reasons personally with myself. And then after the fact, there were so many people that couldn't believe that,
right?
Jerry Meddock, I had a nickname then, also the Dancing Chaplain. You guys will have to see that at one of the races, I guess. But I was a happy-go-lucky guy. I was the helper. I was taking care of everyone else. So they couldn't believe that anything like that would ever happen to me.
Right.
But it also opened up their minds to know that these types of struggles can happen to each and every single one of us. It doesn't pick a side. It doesn't pick a particular person. It can happen to the wealthiest people, to the poorest people financially. It can happen to people who have everything going for them in their lives. And you never know who it can, these types of things can go on with. And just the fact of being able to help so many people after I made that choice, and that still happens to this day, helping people and getting them and leading them the right path to, whether it's me taking them personally to the hospital after a conversation, or wherever they need to go, or making sure they're in a safe place. That's why. So you're not alone. It can happen to anyone. It doesn't make you any lesser of a person that you're feeling this way. It's not a sign of weakness to go get help. We're all human, especially us first responders and veterans. We've seen so much in our lifetime. Our bodies and our minds aren't wired to see all of that. So it's okay. It's okay. And, I wear this shirt often.
It's going to be okay.
It's one of my favorite shirts. It's a Tasha Layton shirt. She's a Christian pop artist. She's got a song called It's Gonna Be Okay. Beautiful song. She's had her own struggles in life, but so it's going to be okay. It may seem like there's just nothing in the world that's going to change it at that point in time, but it's going to be okay. And
it is going to be okay.
You can go get help, and that will make you one of the strongest individuals in this world if you did that.
I think we have to be broke down to be built back up again. I think you take this attitude, this perspective, this I'm better, right? I can do these things. And then something happens. And then you start noticing what's not working out. And you start latching onto those, and you think, well, none of that good stuff matters. It's only this these negative things that are happening right now. And I thought I was good. I had the same thing happen. I called a buddy and I go, Dave, I don't know what the hell's going on, man. Like, you got to come down here. And man, he hung up that phone and he was here in an hour and a half. And he took all my weapons out, right? And he took them with me. And the thing that he told me right there in the parking lot, right there in the driveway, I distinctly remember it. He just said, whatever it is that you're going through, we'll get through it together. And he was there. And, here we are now. What is it? 9 years later for me from my episode. And I've been through things and done things and seen things that I were never even on my radar that would have happened in my life. I'm on a podcast. Why would I do this, right? And look at you, this transition that you've had now to be a media mogul, and I'll call it mogul because you had over 1 million views on a couple of your posts back this year, last year, 2025 in the IHRA, and it's things that you never had in mind, right? I never knew that I was going to do these things. They weren't something I thought I was going to go do. And let's talk about that transition. First of all, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that, right? I know Albert and I have done it multiple times. It feels like this release, right? That you're carrying something. Every time you go through that and every time you take yourself back to those feelings, you're releasing more of it, right? And you're letting go.
Talk about that. First and foremost. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Right.
So we got the live thing going on here. So how did you transition from firefighter, chaplain? How did you put all that down and get into motorsports photography? Like, that doesn't even. I mean, like, how did that?
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. There's a little delay on this end. You're still frozen on my phone, but.
How did you transition from firefighter to photography to this Redline Motorsports media amazingness that you've done on Facebook and Instagram? How'd you do that?
Yeah, so basically it's like, you talk about this whole motorsports photography and videography thing. I would have never imagined in my life that this was going to be a possibility to do. I've, always been a fan of motorsports.
Yep.
A fan of drag racing, predominantly more so. And then, even before that happened to me, but especially after that happened to me, I was like, I have to live life to the fullest, and I have to go for those dreams or those things that I didn't think I could do. I was 40 plus years old, and I decided that, I hadn't played football since junior high school, but, I'm going to go play on a semi-pro football team. So I did that at, 40, 41 years old, was in the best shape of my life. After all of that happened, I decided to, start exercising, and which was very helpful as far as highly suggested I need to get back on that program. But to clear your mind, exercise is great. So I was exercising like crazy. Went and played semi-pro football. I was doing firefighter combat challenges at, over 40 years old. Something I'd never done in my life. So I always like to challenge myself with something, whether it's things like that or with the media thing. It all started out as, just being a fan, and taking videos and things with my cell phone. And then, I was like, I could probably make something out of this. And fortunately, Mrs. Mustache, Mindy, she's a photographer as well. So, she's on board 100% with me going to those races when it first started out. She also thought that we could make something out of this. So we just went for it. 2 years ago, I decided to start doing this stuff full time. because I still was running my landscaping business, and I decided I just couldn't do both. If I really wanted to get into the media thing full time, that we needed to again take a leap of faith and jump all in. So we started upgrading our equipment, getting nicer cameras, still photography cameras and video cameras, and started working with multiple teams, and helping them run their social media, and or at least just get them personal footage or coverage at event by event, so they could use that content to do whatever they would like with. And it's just unbelievable. It's like now I can consider this a full-time job that I'm building an income from, and I'm watching 300 mile an hour plus race cars go down. Whether it be the quarter mile or the 8th mile, depending on which sanctioning body or circuit or 1,000 feet, I guess I should say.
1,000 feet, yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a job. No, it doesn't seem like it could be, but it is. And there's a lot of work that is, that you put into it. There's a lot of long days. There's a lot of long nights. But
and it's hot,
man.
It's hot.
I'm gonna tell you what, I can't ask for any better job to have, and but I'm still there to help people. I'm at some of these events, and there's been multiple times where medical emergencies have happened, and I try not to get involved unless it looks like that there's a need for it, because there's only so much that a certain amount of people can take. I've done CPR on 2 people at racetracks. The first lady that I did CPR on at Virginia Motorsports Park, Miss Linda, she was in a very bad state at that time, and went into a cardiac arrest after a choking incident, and our AED would not let us shock her. It didn't look good, so we continued doing CPR. And before she left to go to the hospital, she was setting up on the cot in the ambulance, and she's made a full recovery and is doing absolutely amazing right now, which is very, very rare. So I still have all of my certifications, and I've had multiple opportunities to use those, whether it's an incident in the crowd or on track, depending on where the event takes place.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of those incidents that have happened, and people know that they can come to me, and they know that I am, fire and EMS, and they know that I can at least lead them in the right direction. John's pointing his finger up. I'm seeing on the delay over there. So
yeah, I just wanted
something to say.
I do. I just wanted to say that, you got to save a life years after you attempted to take your own, or wanted to take your own, I should say. And who's to say that Miss Linda wouldn't be here if you weren't there? So there's plenty that goes on in our stories, in our journeys, that we cannot see the future for, right? Everything happens for a reason. We're all here for some reason. It's our job to figure it out. And it doesn't have to be hard to figure that out. It's, what do you love, right? What do you truly enjoy doing that is not work? And my old man used to tell me that all the time. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to work a day in your life. I did 23 years in the military. I did 20 years in the FAA. And I love this, right? I love to talk. And I didn't think I did. I had that screw you, Albert. I thought it was, I was trying to be like my old man. Keep it quiet. Don't tell anybody nothing. Don't do nothing. And I can't do that. That's not me. I got to be out. I got to get out of this house. I got to go interact with other people. I need to hear stories. I need to give support. I need to feel support, right? Those are all things that we go through, and trying to realize what works best for us. And man, I'm so fucking proud of you, man. Like I really am. You've really turned it around, and you're happy, and you make everybody at the track feel welcome. You cross the track to come see us. You come hang out in the pits, right? We just you're a joy to be around, really, Jerry. And I hope you remember that the next time you have a dark moment, that there are people around that truly enjoy Jerry for Jerry, right? And I got one question, and then we're going to move into closing. That mustache, does it have its own fan page? He's on a delay.
Wait for it.
Waiting. Oh no, he went quiet again. Oh,
this restream's gotta go.
This restream's got to go. We got to find something else. Nope, can't hear you. And he's just yakking. I think he hit his mute button again. Well, isn't this just peachy? I don't think anybody else can hear him. Albert said, "Who knew Flyboy?" Really, Albert? Jerry's just over there yakking. Doesn't even realize he can't hear. I know. Can't even hear him. But he thinks we're laughing at him. So, what wax does he use? I need some for my beard. Oh, this is something else.
Yeah.
Yep. I assume it's Restream. I mean, that's the only thing I'm going through. So
right.
I don't know why it would be a problem now. And he's still talking. Jerry, stop talking.
It's going to take a minute.
This is great. Well, we're still keeping people, right? Like we've still got double-digit viewers and everything.
Oh, my mic was off that whole time.
Yeah, the whole time, Jerry. The whole time, brother.
It's going to take a minute.
Jerry, I just want to say,
hey, am I back now?
Great. Well, we're still
you're back.
Right? Like we've still got double-digit viewers.
Oh, my mic was on.
Yeah, the whole time, Jerry.
Hey, I'm back. So, see, I'm trying to work two things here. I'm working the computer volume because I know that'll echo if I have this mic on. So I'm turning that down because you guys are still frozen on my phone where I'm actually streaming from. So I had that mic turned off, but yes, I was trying to say with all of my mustache hand motions here that our mustache has gotten us where we are in a roundabout way. It is definitely a brand. It's an identity. It's in our logo here with, of course, the thin red line running through. And I thought you guys heard me because I had mentioned that Mrs. Mustache has a mustache as well.
Oh my God.
And then I saw a bunch of this is why I didn't think that, it was my volume. I thought you were like, la, 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 I don't want to hear this. But Mindy, Mrs. Mustache has a mustache as well. So if you ever see her, you'll have to ask her to see that. And that was while I was holding my, I wasn't trying to do the whole thing like smell this. That was why I was holding my finger here because Mindy has a mustache on her finger. So it's a joke that if people start talking about my mustache, I tell them that they need to go ask my wife to see her mustache, and a lot of people will get a little bit like, "Oop, I'm not doing that." But anyone out there is more than free, more than welcome to go ask my wife to see her mustache, and she'll gladly show you that she has that one. But John, you had mentioned, just going around and talking to people at the racetracks. I believe that's another reason why we have been so successful is Since we started this, Mindy and I both are very personable people. I love to meet new people. I love to gain relationships with people. You guys are prime examples of that. You don't know how you're going to relate to those people, and it may not just be in the racing world. You may have other things that are in your life that you can find relatable to anyone you go out there and talk to. So we're very busy when we're out there at the tracks, but I always encourage people. It doesn't matter how busy it looks, or I look, or Mindy looks. Stop us and talk to us, because we definitely don't mind that. If it wasn't for our followers on our social media pages, there's no way we'd be able to do what we're doing now. And they're what makes it. Our page, our pages are monetized, and if it wasn't for them, going on and reacting and commenting and sharing all of our stuff, we'd be nowhere. And the money that comes from that is what helps me get from race to race and make sure I'm someplace every weekend. So everyone can enjoy seeing us and talking to us. So don't hesitate to stop and talk to us. If we're super busy and we got somewhere to go, we'll let you know, but we'll definitely find a time to talk to you later if that happens. But a lot of people will say to me, man, I wanted to talk to you. I'll see a comment like, I wanted to talk to you. I saw you at so-and-so track, but you were just so busy. I didn't want to stop you. And I always tell them, do it. Stop me, because if nothing else, that might be one of the only breaks I take that day. So stop me and talk to us, and we're more than happy to chat with you about whatever, because everyone's part of it, and they're what we're there for.
Jerry, we're gonna sign off. I really appreciate you being here today, sharing your stories, getting vulnerable, being inside that deep dive, letting people know it's okay to not be okay, right? And sharing the personal side of it, with the weapons, and having your friend come over, and the fire chief, picking up the phone and saying, hey, we're gonna get you some help, right? And putting it back in your hands, right? What do you need to do? You know what's happening. What do you need to do? Let's go get it done. I'm going to be there for you. So in the future, what's next for you? Where are you going to be at next? He's trying to hear what I'm saying. The challenges. Katie says, minus the technical difficulties, what a great start.
I actually this is supposed to be the slow season, and the racing world right now,
and it's not.
This is the off season, as a lot of people would say. But I had a couple weeks off around Christmas time. This weekend I'm going to be out at the Midwest Winter Nationals tractor pool in Cloverdale, Indiana. I'll be there on Thursday and Friday. And then I will be leaving either Friday afternoon or late Friday evening, and going down to Naples, Florida from Cloverdale, Indiana, driving for the Winter Classic Swamp Buggy races in Naples, Florida. The only place that they hold swamp buggy races. Such a great time down there. Those folks, the energy in the crowd is just absolutely amazing. So check out Swamp Buggy Races, follow their socials, and get their schedule. They got 3 or 4 more races coming up after this weekend. But I will leave Naples, Florida, and come back to Bradenton, Florida, and the U.S. Street Nationals, part of the Winter Series, the Drag Illustrated Winter Series. The U.S. Street Nationals start that Thursday, but the testing will start on Monday. So I will be out at Bradenton Motorsports Park for testing of the U.S. Street Nationals. One of the biggest mod races, or the biggest pro mod races, the Winter Series is. And then I have that going on all next week. And then I think there's like another week off, and then it's boom, boom, boom. Into the IHRA. Will be there at pretty much every IHRA event in 2026. we'll be hitting up some of the NHRA events, potentially some PDRA events. Definitely be hitting up some Southeast Gassers Association events.
I love those cars
throughout
those
the
so
year.
Cool.
But on the calendar of schedule, so this is where it gets tricky. It's there's 52 weeks in a year, and on our potential tentative calendar, we have over 75 events that we want to try to make it to.
Good for you.
So, math ain't math in there. That could mean that Mrs. Mustache is going to be at one event, or Mr. Mustache is at another event. And we've also got some media partners that we brought on board with us for this year as well. That could be covering an event that maybe I personally or Mindy personally isn't at. I happened to glance over at the comments over here, and one of them is on there. Midwest Speed Kings, Jeremy and Tiffany Cup, absolutely phenomenal photographers, but we have them on board with us with some races this year. There's a gentleman named Aaron Robinson. His YouTube channel is Whipple Weekly. He's going to be doing some videography at a couple of no prep races for us this year as well. So
that's awesome.
We have a lot of events on our calendar, but it could be other people with how our business has grown, that we feel like we are ready to branch out to have some more people come on and help us, and maybe be 2 or 3 places at once in a weekend. But we'll still share all of that content over on our Redline Motorsports media page.
I love it for you.
Busy year coming up.
That's awesome. Hey, you know what? If anybody in your stable is at an event where Save 22 is, they're welcome to come hang out with us. Please do say hello. We'd love to have you. You always have a back porch setting wherever Save 22 is at. We tend to make that available wherever we go. So, Jerry, thanks for spending a couple hours with us this morning. Thanks for rolling with the punches. The technical difficulties, the comments are hilarious on some of these things. So I'm going to let you go, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you. I think the first time we're going to meet up is going to be the IHRA event in Dunn, North Carolina, which is March 19th through the 21st. That's going to be Big Al right there. Al, excuse me, Al's going to do that. So if you're a fan of Redline Motorsports, you're coming to the IHRA event, stay tuned to save22.vet, and we'll have a way to get you some tickets down in there. Hopefully the IHRA comes back with a welcome package for us, and we'll make 2026 even better than we did in 2025. So Jerry, Mr. Mustache, Mrs. Mustache, Mindy, that's a tongue twister. We will see you shortly in a couple months. Thank you for spending the time with us this morning. We're going to let you go. Go get your things. Thank you very much, my friend.
For us, and we'll make 2026.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I know there's a delay here. I'll probably chop in on you all, but can't wait to see you live and in person. We truly appreciate you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to chat with you guys. This whole thing has been near and dear to my heart for a very long time, and I just know all the people that are still out there walking on this world, on this earth, that you all have been able to help, I'm sure. I know personally many folks that I've been able to help personally before and after my own struggles. So I think this is very important to get this message out. There's always going to be a stigma there, but you're not alone. We appreciate you so much, and we want to hear everyone's stories after they go through the same thing, and then they find out that there's better things out there for them, and there's a reason to live.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Well, that was incredible. I am very happy with our very first show of 2026. What do you got to say on that one, Albert? I know you got to step out here real quick.
Yeah, that's Jerry's just an amazing human. He is. When he sees you and he recognizes you, and there's 6'5" of cameras and equipment bouncing and running as he's coming at you, and that mustache hanging out, it's a pretty cool sight. So I really appreciate Jerry taking time out. I mean, just this few interactions I've had with him prior to done and then done, solidified it for me. He's a good human, man. He's just one of those that are good people. Good people.
Absolutely. So thank you to Jerry for spending that couple hours with us. Thank you to all the viewers who stuck with us through all these technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll have a little better experience next week with it. Albert, did you want to talk real quick about, we already did the service dog initiative. I didn't get to hear it, but you already did that. You already talked about the website development. I think we would be remiss if we didn't thank our motorsports partners, Carson Brown Motorsports, Lex June Nitro Racing, our friend, our new advocate in the off-road world, Nugget, Joe Muncie, is putting together an off-road package, off-road plan program for this year. So stay tuned for that. Not 100% completed just yet, but we're working on it. There's going to be at least 4 events for that one. We're doing 5.
Yeah, this is our off season right now, so this is our time to make sure the finances are in place, make sure that website's where it needs to be, make sure the storefront's coming along, making sure that we're positioning Save 22 for 2026 and in a good spot,
beyond,
right?
And beyond,
and beyond, right? We as Save 22, we have an obligation to make sure that Save 22 as an entity is in the best spot that it can be in, right?
Right.
And with growth comes some pain. It does. So there's going to be some changes in Save 22 coming forward that hopefully by the end of January, most of those will be, figured out, implemented. But, again, us getting to where we're not where we're at on our own. We're not. There's been multiple people that have jumped in and helped here and there where they could. There's been partners that have come and gone. There's partners that have been here from the beginning, right? And those individuals will always hold a spot. They will.
Always.
Because we would not be where we're at without individuals doing what they did.
Absolutely. This whole Save 22 thing started 11 years ago with 3 guys on a back porch making a commitment to not leave their brothers and sisters behind. And they just wanted to take a walk. And that morphed into a partnership with Mike Harmon Racing, which morphed into a partnership with Iggy 6 Motorsports. And we got to go do some open wheel events with a driver development series. And that turned into Lex June. Stuff. I mean, oh my goodness, what a partner. We could not have built a better partner than Lex June with his own personal story and his commitment to giving back and why he gives back. I mean, just, and now moving forward to Carson Brown. Carson Brown Motorsports called us up last year after the Daytona 500. We had a sit-down meeting at your house via Zoom. And the next thing you know, boom, we're on the car down at Five Flags for Pensacola. And they're doing a service dog initiative. And they're raising the awareness that way. They're bringing the dog out. Pepper Jack Kennels wants to get involved. There's so many things happening. And there's just a couple, 3, 4 of us that are going through this. And we have people in the background that are building calendars for us, creating websites, developing things that way, forms, plans, insurance, taxes, the whole 9 yards, things that the 3 guys on the back porch probably never even thought about happening. And here we are. And with the partnership with the IHRA that we hope will be officially announced next week, we really hope that we can bring 400 or 500 veterans to the track and be involved in that. And then you've got the hospitality tent there and the team fast tracks. And then you move over into ARCA with Carson Brown running a full schedule with Pinnacle Racing, right? And going for the championship in the ARCA East series with a couple of slots to possibly move up and more opportunities to take veterans to this track. And we could not do what we do without the partnership that we have.
Right. So and to all the racing, even NASCAR, right? Conversations we're having with NASCAR internally.
Yeah.
Right? I'm curious to see where those end up. I mean, prior to the holidays, everything was looking great. We'll see where it goes. I mean, those are things that we can't talk about until it's official. But I will tell you that we are in talks with NASCAR, and it looks like they may be doing something. I'm not sure what that looks like.
Not sure what that looks like, but even for them to take the opportunity to talk to us, right, and entertain the possibility is humbling.
It is. It is. And it shows you, not only the staying power of the organization, right, but the people that are in it, the people that have been committed, and the people that still help from day one, right? You can pick up the phone. Hey, man, I forgot about this. Hey, Nick, I forgot about this, man. You remember? And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. This is what we did. And I'm like, okay, cool. And to have that history still intact, right? And it's 11 years into this, man. Like, I'm thankful. I'm appreciative. But again, we have to grow. We have to keep Save 22 where it needs to be.
Yeah. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention Senior Chief as well, Goat Locker Racing. They started their season last night, and Save 22 is a partner of them. Do the knife hand, bro. So Senior Chief over there doing amazing things inside the iRacing world with guys in our generation, right? That was something that we didn't see right off the bat. We didn't grow up with a personal computer. We grew up with Nintendo or Atari. And this iRacing leagues professional athletes do hours upon hours upon hours in simulators nowadays. They're that good. And they have all these laps and hours of practice prior to an event, right? I mean, it's just, it's incredible, the things that they're doing.
And if anybody has never sat in a simulator, I would highly suggest that you take a minute and sit in one. And if you're able to do a lap or two, do it. It's pretty incredible how true and accurate some of these simulators can be.
Absolutely.
The one that I was privileged enough to get in, I'm going to tell you, it was just like going around the track. You could feel the bumps, you could feel the lift on the car. The driver come up beside me, says, hey, I'm going to come up beside you. Don't turn the wheel, keep the hands straight. It's going to feel like the car's just going all over. He says, don't touch the wheel. He come up beside me, I could feel the car, and I simply just gave it a little correction.
Yep, very little.
And he laughed. He laughed at me and said, I told you, keep the wheel straight.
Keep the wheel straight as he blew on by. It's amazing. It's aerodynamics, it's body, it's weight, it's physics, it's geometry, it's all those things. It's amazing
where that technology's come, John. It's just come so far that's where your tech is, right? To be able to spend all those times, hours upon hours on that simulator when you can't get that track time, right? And you wouldn't think that would transfer over, but it does. It's cool.
They're so well mapped. Those tracks are so well mapped and put into iRacing. Senior Chief and his team over there, Daniel Krakow and all the people over there at Goat Locker, they have over 500 veterans, in their racing leagues. It's pretty incredible what he's built and those guys over there. So thank you to them as well. Albert, you have an announcement to make for Wednesday. You have somewhere to be. Save 22 is going to be a part of down there in the Carolinas with Mr. Jim. Would you like to talk about that?
So that is, it's actually January 21st. It's Saturday. It's our coffee and conversations that we call it. But so Saturday, January 21st from 10 to 12.
24th.
24th. I'm sorry. I don't know why I put 21st. Sorry, 24th. So Mr. Jim was a Vietnam vet that I met about 8 years ago. Chuck's known him. Chuck Hooks has known him pretty much his whole life, and Junior as well. Junior actually went to school or hung out with his sons. So this is a generational friendship, right, for some of these guys.
Yeah.
And sadly, Mr. Jim passed, and Mr. Jim wrote and journaled in his leather-bound books for years. Never shared them. We were down at Warbird Park, Chuck and I, with some other veterans, and Mr. Jim broke out that book and started reading. So every time you went and sat with Mr. Jim for a visit, he would read you a story out of one of those books.
Wow.
And he has pictures with the books and everything. So it's a pretty cool collection that he left his family with, right? He has all these stories that now his sons will have forever.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
That's really awesome. Mr. Jim, he impacted a lot of lives that he had no idea that he was impacting. He's a staple down there in the Carolinas.
He is. One of those good ones, man.
Absolutely. And as far as us up here in Ohio, Save 22 will be down at the American Legion Midwinter Conference down in Columbus. this weekend. We'll be going down on Saturday. We're going to spend some time with Goat Locker on Friday evening, have a dinner, a meet and greet. Actually, all the business and all the things that we've done with Goat Locker, we've never met face to face. So this is going to be the first time we get to meet face to face with Goat Locker and Senior Chief and all the people that he's got going on down there. So once again, everybody, thank you for bearing with us, dealing with the technical difficulties. We hope we don't have these again. Restream was really pretty good last year for it. It might just be an internet connection thing. We don't know, but we're going to look into some other options at this time. So thank you to everybody that joined in, commented on YouTube, Facebook. Thank you very much. We couldn't do this without you. Make sure you check out Redline Motorsports Media on Instagram and Facebook, and check out where Mr. Mustache is going to be. If you are in an event where Mr. Mustache is and Save 22 just happens to be there, stop by and say hello. We'll absolutely give you the time. What else you got there, buddy?
That's it, buddy. Yeah, just keep an eye on that website. Storefront coming here by the end of the month. Service dog, we should have the veteran selected by the end of the month, because that process needs to get moving so that veteran can start meeting Damien, which I will tell you will put a smile on your face.
That's a process too, man. That's a big process. So
it's been a lot of work. So, thank you to those who are helping behind the scenes.
Absolutely. We couldn't do it without those guys at all. Whiskey Pete says, thank you. JBMC Legacy Builds, thank you. And Senior Chief says, great show, brother. So you know what? I think we're good to go. And I think we're going to call it out here. We're going to put the music on. We're going to put the final slide up, and we are going to talk to you all maybe next week. I think we will. We'll have a follow-up from Mid-America or the Midwinter conferences, and we'll have some more stuff to do. Still looking for guests to schedule in, so please.
And who knows? We may have the website done by then.
Who knows? We might have that new website up. We can run through it real quick. That'd be really cool. So tune in here for most of your Save 22 updates, personal stories, trials and tribulations, and we'll talk at you the next time. So thank you very much, everybody. Uh-oh.
Hearts laid bare, battle scars we all still wear. Through the storm, through the fight, searching for hope in the dead of night. No more hiding, no more shame. Face the fire, call